Well, today we are opening up the viewer email inbox to see what is on your mind as far as money matters go and to answer some of those money questions. Joining us is money and business expert Derek Kinney. Derek, let's dive right into that inbox this afternoon. We've got some good ones in here. We'll start off with Chris in Cleburne, who asks, I want to save money for college for my 10-year-old, but I also want that money to be available if they decide to start a business before then. What's the best way for him to do both of those things, Derek?
First of all, Chris, don't feel like you're stuck with just the typical savings options for college, whether it's the education IRA or only things that can be used for higher education. Oftentimes, many parents these days want to give their kids choices. Look, could they start a business and could I give them money to do that? I call it the Education Empowerment Fund. It's talking to your advisor. You can do this yourself as well, but put 80% of the money into what's called a non-qualified brokerage account. So there's no tax benefits, but it's totally liquid. And then put 20% directly into a college fund. Both money amounts can be used for college, but one empowers your teen to launch the business, do some advanced courses. They might be an entrepreneur before they get to college. That'd be well worth it.
All right, good advice there. Let's get to Leave in Dallas right now, who DM'd her message in. She has a question here. She says, the tariff talk seems to have quieted down. Is now a good time to get more aggressive in the stock market, or should I be cautious, she asks, Derek. I mean, we saw the market did very well today. A lot of folks thought that was perhaps because President Trump pulled back or at least delayed some of those tariffs. What do you say?
Well, that was definitely tariff related. You are spot on there, Jason. Keep in mind, I would still be cautious, but you have to invest even in things you can't control. So whether it's your 401k, whether it's systematically adding money to the market, 1 month it may be higher, 1 month it may be lower, continue adding. But what I would do is go into something like the S&P 500 index, the top 500 companies all around the country, where these men and women are heavily incentivized to grow their business. So regardless of what tariffs do, those tend to do well over the long term. So I would continue investing like you're doing right now, but realize there's going to be a lot of roller coaster rides along the way.
Okay, let's get to a third question here. This one comes from Chandra in Louisville, Derek. Chandra writes in, I've got an idea to start a business and I'm trying to figure out the best place to pull the money from. Should I borrow it or take it from my 401k? And then she gives you some props here. She says, I know you'll shoot straight with me.
I always do, especially with our viewers. You know, one thing I would think about is how can you use OPM instead of MOM? Instead of my own money, use other people's money. And the best way is to try to get a loan from the bank. That would be the best idea. You're going to have a business plan and some ideas there. But if they could lend you even $5,000, $10,000, it allows you to get the idea off the ground. As a backup plan, do not take money out of your 401k early. It's going to cost you a ton of money in taxes and penalties. Instead, consider taking a loan against your 401k. Now, again, these are not the best ideas, but if you want to launch a business, many stories are told of people who borrow against their money. Doesn't cost them, but it lets them take the advantage of launching a business with little cost to them.
All right, let's do one more here, Derek. This one comes from Kent in Plano, who writes, I've got some debt and I'm not sure which to pay off first, my credit cards or my mortgage. What's the smarter move? I guess the good thing here, Derek, is that it sounds like he's in a position to pay some stuff off. So that's always a great thing. But what would you say to him?
Yeah, keep in mind, you want to base the decision on what is the highest interest rate. So many people say, Derek, I just want to have my home paid off. In most cases, though, that may be the worst possible debt to pay off early because it's so low. Let's say the credit cards are 15 to 20%. That's costing you more money. You want to put everything possible toward the credit card while still keeping a little bit of money in cash reserves, because if an emergency happens, you want to make sure you have money available not to put it back on the credit card again. That would be my shoot straight advice for you.
All right. Always love when we go through the inbox, Derek, because, you know, we just got to 4 of them, but that probably answered questions for a lot of people who had the same questions. So really appreciate it once again.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.